Welcome to the Andy Ruther Show. Here is your host, Andy Ruther.
Welcome to the Andy Ruther Show. That is me, your host, Andrew Thomas Ruther. It's Friday night, guys. You're getting a late Friday night pod from me. I had you can probably tell my voice has basically been gone this week. There's a couple days it was totally toast. So I was like, it's not the best idea to talk for 45 minutes to an hour by myself, unfiltered, no breaks. So I've been pushing it, but I'm gonna do it. It's Friday night, right? We got to get this thing out. I'm gonna deliver this show at least once a week. So that's been the goal and what I've done. I think this is episode 26. So that's the goal. And truth is, I was doing some cleaning, just drinking a little cannabis infused drinks. Got one right here, a little three chi, three kai, three shy. I don't know. One of these little, they're good. These little one of these little black raspberry. I don't know, but anyway, yeah, I figured, you know what? Let's let it rip tonight. I didn't plan on doing it tonight. Let's let it rip. Let's just do a pod off the cuff, and let's let it rip. Let's let it rip. Feeling good. It's Friday night. Brittany's already asleep. She's been asleep. Isla's been asleep for a few hours. I can stalk her on the app, which is always fun, which is always hilarious to watch her sleep. But yeah, let's let it rip. I mean, we'll deal with my voice. It's not the best, but you know what? The game must go on. I don't know what I'm talking about. But yeah, I don't know. It was a wild week, huh? Election. Yeah, wow. You guys know I don't really talk politics on the show. Um and I'm not going to. But there are things I do want to say about well, first of all, people are so crazy with politics. And people are so crazy with politicians and the reactions in elections and how they treat politicians. It's bonkers to me. It's bonkers. The idea of hero worshiping, what I call hero worshiping politicians, I've never fully understood. Right. And I've been thinking all week how the election has played out and the reactions, which truthfully, when people have mental breakdowns over elections and which candidates win and which candidates lose, it gives me a lot of joy watching people like in tears. I'm just gonna be honest. It's funny. It's real funny seeing the reactions. Because to me, I can't put myself in that position. Right? I can't put myself in that position. And I'm gonna bring in a correlation here to tie these things together. And I always say this to people, and I always think about it, and I'm shocked that most people don't compare the two. But to me, the election reactions are very similar to how people handle sports reactions with their favorite teams and with their favorite players. By that I mean we see mental breakdowns. People just lose their emotions a lot of times from a negative, from a negative vibe, from the crying, the temper tantrums, all those things. And to me, that's a huge correlation nobody talks about with sports and politics and sports games and elections, right? And the truth is, I find that behavior as an adult bizarre. And I don't care if people judge me for that. I'll just say it. I was talking about it this week a lot with Brittany. The fact that we were saying how people reacted to the election, and I was saying it's just like sports. I feel the same way. I just I'm gonna be 43 in a few weeks. I don't know. The thought of me having such a emphatic response to my team losing, whether it's politics or sports. That's bizarre to me to have a 43-year-old guy do that, a 43-year-old woman do that. That's bizarre to me. It's fine to be upset, don't get me wrong. It's fine to be upset or happy on your team or your person winning or losing, whatever it is. I get that. But it's these reactions that are so overwhelming and then also that go on for days and that it affects that's bananas to me, guys. It's crazy that to think that the outcome of a sports game, which I have no control over, is going to affect my emotions for days, for weeks. As an adult, I'm talking as an adult. I think there's a big caveat there. As an adult, that's crazy to me. And the truth is, I'm just going to say, I think if you're an adult and you do that, then there's something missing in your life. There's something missing in your life. Again, it's something I can't affect. Why am I going to get that worked up? I understand being happy, being sad, but you guys know what I'm talking about. I'm talking about the guy who like throws a remote at his TV as an adult, as a grown ass man in his 40s. The guy who's just in shambles because their politician didn't win an election when there's literally millions of people voting and you're just one vote. Like it's that is wild behavior to me. And again, I see such a correlation between sports fans and political fans. There's just such a correlation to me. And I think it's odd behavior. And I think y'all need to grow the fuck up, to be perfectly frank here. If we're going to keep it real here on this Friday, November 8th, this Friday night talk. Again, be disappointed for a day. Be bummed. Like, man, we really could have won that game. Don't let it affect your week. Don't let it affect your month. Come on. What are we doing here? I always think of my dad because I used to be that kid. I was that kid. I would watch the games, the Reds, the Bengals, Xavier basketball, and then I would get so bent out of shape as a kid. So bent out of shape. My dad would always say, "It's just a game, Andy." Which you could counter that and say, "Well, it's not just a game." And I can see that side too. But I think the point of my dad saying that to me was that it's a game and everything else is your life's going to go on, right? If your team doesn't win, your life's going to go on. If your presidential candidate doesn't win, your life's going to go on. And I know a lot of people want to debate that, and that's fine. You guys can have your debates, but I'm not doing that here. But I'm laughing at you when you have meltdowns. I'm laughing at you going in convulsions because your team lost or your presidential candidate lost. I'm just laughing at you. That's what I'm doing. And I'm also thinking you're fucking crazy. That's what I'm thinking. Again, I'm just like, I look at my own life. I'm like, okay, cool. I don't know, man. I got a little girl on the way. Like, I can't be getting that worked up about these things. And I get worked up about stupid stuff. I for sure do. That's a problem of mine. But though that's not going to be one of them. You can have your opinions, you can have your passion. I don't know. And another thing to me, now that we're talking about all this, I think hero worshiping politicians is way worse than hero worshiping athletes. And let me explain. Like hero worshiping in general, I don't really fully get because we're all humans. But I get it way more if you hero worship if you hero worship an athlete. I get it way more. Here's why I get it. For a politician, for somebody to become the president, a lot of things have to go their way. There's a machine behind it. It's not just one person strictly on their merits. It's a lot of factors to become president. Now, athletes, they do a lot of that on their own. Now, don't get me wrong, it matters where you're drafted, what team you go to, your teammates, the situations, all those, I guess, could be considered similar. But for me, an athlete, it's strictly on a merit-based system. And I'd argue the fairest system, the merit-based system. Whereas politics isn't always merit-based. It's just not. Why people are put in roles, why people are chosen and then they run, all those things. But I don't understand hero worshiping politicians. I don't. And we have a lot of that in our country. Like a lot of that all the time. And I feel like it's worse. I don't know. I don't think it was like that when I was growing up. Like hero worshiping. Which is crazy because now I think with social media, I don't think people hero worship athletes as much. They I don't know. Am I wrong on that? They might, but everyone's critical. They're so critical. They want to nitpick everything. But to me, the hero worshiping of a politician, I think is pathetic, to be fully honest. I just think it's pathetic to you can like somebody, you can vote for somebody. I don't really care. But you guys know what I mean. The hero worshiping, the putting them on a pedestal, an undeserving usually pedestal of just on this level of a human being simply because they won something, an election based on opinions of people. You're the quarterback of the Super Bowl winning team, you win the MVP. I'm just saying that's a lot different. It's a lot different, right? In my lifetime, I don't know. I don't know if you bring back old politicians or the old days. I don't really know. I'm not here to discuss that. But my point is, I don't get hero worshiping. Am I making any sense to the show? Am I making any goddamn sense this show? That's about the extent of politics, but I'm just like a voyeur when it comes to this stuff. I'm not gonna be commenting. I have my opinions. You guys have your opinions, but I'll be watching. I'll be watching the socials. I'll be seeing what people are saying. I also here's what else I think it's funny, and this isn't just politics. This is everything. Everyone thinks they have to comment and share their opinion on everything like it matters. You don't have to comment on the election. You don't. There's no one with a gun to your head that says, "Hey, I must comment." But everyone feels they do. Just look at it. Go pull up your Facebook. Pull up Twitter. Pull up Instagram, TikTok. Everybody feels they got to comment. No one says like, "Hey man, maybe I should just keep this opinion to myself." No one ever says that anymore. And I guess you could say I'm doing that right now by talking about it on a podcast and there's irony here. That's fine. But everyone feels they have to comment. That's another thing I was discussing this week here at my house with Brittany. I was like, everyone feels like they have to comment. It's bizarre. It's again, I don't think you got shit going on in your life. I think you're look, let me put on my shrink hat. Let me put on my therapist hat. I think there's a void in your life. If you feel you have to let the world know exactly your thoughts, your opinions, your analysis of a presidential election that day or the night of your team's football game all the time. I'm talking all the time. People share your opinions. That's fine. It's cool. It's a free country. We have free speech. It's one of the best things about this country. Share it, but you guys know what I'm saying all the time. Does the world have to know what Becky from Sarasota, Florida feels about the election? Does she have to know? Or do they have to know what Becky thinks? Or how about Brian from Ames, Iowa? Do we need his opinion on the Iowa State game every single year? Do we? I don't think we do. Well, who am I to judge? Because I'm sitting there laughing at all you idiots. So I'm just gonna contradict myself on that one. I want to give a nice shout out to everybody on a serious note. Everybody who sent me really kind messages about Roscoe in the last week. I was really touched, guys. I got so many DMs on Instagram, on Twitter, and everybody was really kind. And it meant a lot. It really does. You guys were really sweet, and I appreciate that. And it means a lot to me. It really does. And especially when you guys share things you went through losing your pet and experiences, because that makes it easier for me because then I can relate. And that was really kind of everybody. And I just want to give you guys a shout out for that. And thank you. Thank you. Because I feel like with this podcasting stuff and with doing a show like this or Dirty Sports or anything I've done, it's very communal and I love that. It's like we all know each other. And when somebody reaches out and says, "Hey man, I lost my dog. It was hard," or "I'm there for you, Ruther. I get it. Sending you good vibes," all those things. It means a lot. Like that doesn't just when I see those things, that's not something minor. That's like, "Oh, shit, people care." That's cool. That's really cool because you see all this negativity and you see all these bad things, and then you get that, and you're like, "Oh, that's great." I think about that with my parents after they died. I got some really, really just amazing voicemails from people that, to be honest, had my number that I probably haven't even talked to in a while. High school friends, grade school friends, and I kept those. I still have those on my phone, and it's pretty much the same thing when you send messages, and those things really affect people's morale. That's what I always tell people. That's the lesson I learned with my going through that with my parents. If you are debating leaving somebody a message or even a text, whatever it is, and you know somebody who lost someone, do it because it means the world. It's not meaningless. It's a powerful gesture that people remember. I know I did. And conversely, I'll be honest, I remember the people I was like, wow, you didn't even give me a personalized message when you knew my mom died. You knew my dad died. And that hurt the other way, right? Someone who you're like, wow, I thought we were friends, or I thought we were cool like that. You didn't even reach out to send me a text, and that hurts. But I try not to dwell on those. Instead, focus on again on like, oh, I dated a girl for like a month, and back in so and so, in whatever year, and she saw on Instagram that my mom died, and she sent me a real nice text message, like that type of stuff. You're like, wow, that's cool. Or a buddy you haven't talked to in 5 years, 6 years from high school leaves a voicemail. Like that means a lot. So that's how I felt with Roscoe. Sorry, guys, having another little cocktail. Another thing that happened with Roscoe, I got a nice gift. Speaking of nice gestures, I'm being serious here. You guys are gonna laugh when I say this. From Gay Greg. Shout shout out to Gay Greg. He gave me a bronze dildo. Now, I'm sorry for your loss. Here, take this giant bronze penis. I really wish you did that. That would have been hilarious. Sorry for your loss. Here's a cock. Oh, I'm glad I'm laughing by myself. No, he came over. We hung out. No. We had Mai Tais on my back deck, talk politics. He dropped off some Grater's ice cream the other day, and he said, "This is for you and Brittany. I know how hard it is to lose a dog." And I was like, "Wow, man, that meant a lot." I was like, "Man, I really feel bad about talking shit about you on my podcast for the last 6 months." Sorry about that, Gay Greg. I don't know if you have access to technology, but, you're a hit. People love them some gay Greg. Appreciate the ice cream. Now, say some weird things to me so I can talk about it on my show. No, he brought over Grader's Ice Cream, which is like the hit local ice cream joint here in Cincinnati, and, I mean, it is sweet. He goes, "I know what it's like to lose a dog, um, their family." I'm sorry, I just keep thinking of gay jokes that I wanna make. I know this is childish. I'm terrible. Maybe this, maybe the drink has kicked in a little. I think it has. I'm just thinking of him because he was like, "Oh, we had to you weren't here yet. Me and the neighbor had to bury the dog in the backyard." I don't know why I'm laughing about this. It's not funny at all. There's nothing funny about burying I couldn't even do it. Like, that was discussed. "Can I bury Roscoe or should we have him cremated?" And Brittany knew. She's like, "There's no way emotionally you can dig." And I was like, "No, there's not. There's no way. I'll be a train wreck." I don't know why I'm laughing thinking of gay Greg burying his one of his old dogs with a neighbor. I'm just picturing them in, like, Speedos in the backyard. This is terrible. I'm picturing them like the old Adam Sandler, Chris Farley bit from Saturday Night Live, Schmidt's gay. I don't know why I'm picturing them doing that while they're burying his dog. That's terrible. Guys, I am going to hell. The guy does a nice gesture. He brings over some delicious Grater's ice cream, says some very sweet words, offers condolences to Brittany, offers condolences to me, and here I am making jokes. I'm a terrible person. But Brittany was like, she did send me a text later. She's like, "What the fuck was Greg over? Like, why did he knock on the door? I saw it on the ring cam." She just saw this like giant rainbow flag flash in front of the ring cam. Sparklers go off and glitter flies in the air. Oh man. That was my first thought though. After he dropped it off, I was like, "Man, I'm such a terrible person for making all these jokes." Although, you know what? He does them. Am I that bad? Alls I'm doing, I'm just the messenger here. I'm just relaying what I see and what I hear. That's all I'm doing. That's all I'm doing. But you guys are great. Appreciate it. Roscoe, he's here, man. He's here. He's looking at me right now. He used to he used to get so annoyed actually when I would get stoned because I would just pet him nonstop. And it's funny because I used to always joke about Brittany with that. Oh man, he's so annoyed because I'm just petting him, petting him, petting him. And when I saw Nick Swartzen about 2 months ago in Cincinnati, he's actually got a bit about that, which I was like, "This is great. I've been saying this for years." And he was talking about eating edibles and petting dogs and how you just are just, like, petting them nonstop. Like, you guys know what I'm talking if you get stoned and you have a dog or a cat and something like that, and you just wanna just pet them and pet them and pet them and don't stop, and, that's how I'd be with Roscoe. So I'm picturing him right now looking at me like, "I don't gotta deal with that anymore." He's on the mantle, man. He's chilling. I talked to him. I say, "What's up, Rock?" He, he's on the mantle, which, I didn't know how I'd feel about that. I didn't know how I'd feel about, having him up there cremated. The truth is, it's given me a lot of, peace. No, I've definitely had days where I really, really miss him. I think about him every day, of course. He just died, you know, 9 days ago, but my point is, since we picked up the ashes, I've felt a lot better. Like, excuse me, like some sense of peace with him in the room, which has been nice. I don't know if I can say the same for Brittany. I feel this week's been really tough for her. It's been tough in general, and I totally understand. Again, 13 years of your life, you slept next to that dog every single night. It's gonna, I tell her it's gonna take a while. I don't sugarcoat it because what's the point? I just know just from going through what I've gone through with my parents, I have a baseline to kind of explain things, and this is what I did. This is what I went through. Blah blah. Yada yada yada. So that's kind of how I've been trying to handle it with her, but it's tough, and I think that's what a lot of you guys said to me when you sent me messages. Okay, enough of the serious talk. What would Gay Greg say about all? Oh, my dog died. I don't know why I'm making him Southern. Why am I I'm making him like Lindsey Graham. Like, when my dog died, I just went over and got on Grinder and just took 2 guys. I don't know why I'm doing that, but enough of that talk. Oh, this is what I want to talk to you guys about. Okay, I learned something wild last night, and you might not find it as wild as I did or as Brittany did, because I realized one of my brothers and one of my buddies were just like, "What are you talking about?" I learned something wild last night. Goofy, the character Goofy from Mickey Mouse, he's not a dog. Yeah, that's right. Goofy, the big old ears. Hi, Mickey. Who, by the way, Isla loves, and I do too. I've been kind of reacquainted with all these Disney characters because Isla is obsessed with Mickey Mouse. Shout out to Mexican Mickey Mouse in Mikazumel, who introduced Isla to Mickey Mouse. As you guys know, if you heard that episode, she loves her some Mickey. She's been obsessed with Mickey since she saw twerking Mexican Mickey Mouse at that restaurant. So she watches Mickey Mouse Clubhouse a lot. So I've been reintroduced to all the characters and ones I kind of forgot about. And she loves Goofy, which is great because I do too. Because I mean, his name's Goofy. He's a goofy dude. He's funny. He's weird. He's just got all these quirks. So she loves Goofy. And I don't even know how Brittany came across this, but she sent me some Instagram post last night from somebody that was talking about when they learned Goofy was not a dog. And then they're saying he's a cow. And I'm like, what? Goofy from Mickey Mouse is a cow? Oh, but wait, there's more. So then I start Googling it. This is last night during Thursday Night Football. I'm watching the Ravens Bengals game, but I'm watching, but let's put that in air quotes. It's on in the background. No, I'm watching pretty closely to be honest, but I do have my phone out, of course. So I Google Mickey or I'd Google Goofy. I'm like, is Goofy a dog? And then this article comes up, which is pretty hilarious about and then there's a whole debate, right? There's Reddit forums, there's all this social media stuff. Is he a dog? Is he a cow? And then this article comes up, and this is from August. It says Disney's Goofy character isn't actually a dog or a cow. Fun fact, Disney's beloved character Goofy is not, contrary to popular belief, a dog like his trusted friend Pluto, nor is he a cow like Clarabelle. Find out his species. So then I just said, I was like, he's species fluid. That's what he is. That's what the kids would say, right? They say gender fluid. I'm going to say species fluid, right? He could be different species. He could be a cat. He could be a cow. He could be a dog. He could be a Tyrannosaurus Rex. I don't know. But that's what the article says. And then I start reading it, and it's pretty wild. So the guy who's voiced him since 1987, his name's Bill Farmer. He went on this podcast with these people that I don't even really care about. But he said he's not a dog, but he's a canine. So then it gets even more confusing. He's not a dog, but he's a canine. And he continues, so it's kind of like a wolf is not a dog, but it's a canine. Same thing. Goofus canis. That's what he is. Okay, he's probably making a joke there. Or he's a mog. All right, we're combining what are we combining? Cow and dog? What? That doesn't make sense. But anyway, it goes back to the inception of Goofy, Goofy was initially a character called Dippy Dog, which kind of debunks that because Dippy Dog, DAWG, that was created in 1932. Then he was redrawn to look younger, and his name was changed to Goofy in the Whoopie Party, another animated short that was released later that year. So we don't know what he is. And I'm bringing up some old things that are basically saying he was created and they're saying he's just a cartoon. Like he's not a animal. I guess you could say that about certain cartoons. Like what are they? What are the cartoon characters? But my mind was blown away. I don't know if you guys are as blown away. He's not a dog, but then I was watching it this morning with Isla and I'm getting all worked up and I'm saying, but he is. He's got those big ass dog ears. Those droopy dog ears that you would see on, certain types of dog, like a bloodhound or something. He's a dog. And then Brittany was trying to debunk this. This is before work. She's like, I kind of see like he's like a cow. And here we are. My friend Isla, who's probably thinking, what are you idiots talking about? She's like, well, I kind of see the cow features. And I'm saying he's clearly a dog. Goofy's a dog. But according to all this, he's not. I'm trying to see if there's anything else in this article. There's nothing. But we don't know. He's not a dog or a cow. I think he might be my favorite character on Mickey Mouse Clubhouse. That or Donald. Donald is like the Larry David of that show. Goofy is, I don't know, the Screech. Say by the spell Screech. We gotta give him something better. Screech. Screech is not who you want. Why would I give him Screech? I can't. Goofy can't be my favorite character on Mickey Mouse Clubhouse and him be Screech. What was Minnie? Minnie's like Minnie's the chick in tears when Kamala lost. That's what Minnie Mouse is. She's going she's going on TikTok to cry for 4 days because a presidential election. Daisy is a hooker. No, I don't know. She kind of gives those vibes, right? A little loose. Daisy's a little loose. Are Daisy and Donald together? Are they together? And are Mickey and Minnie together? And what's Pete's role in this situation? You guys know the character Pete? He's in on this too. Isla likes him. Just go, Pete. Pete. Man, she's turning into a terrible two right now. He's starting to like hit and kick. I'm not playing around with that shit. She'll go right up to her room when she starts doing that stuff. Like, not playing around. I had a therapy session last week, and I asked my therapist about it. I said, okay, what's the discipline for a little girl who's got the terrible twos in her already? She's 20 months old. What do you do? And that's what he said. He said, look, man, don't play around. Don't yell. Don't get too worked up. If she throws fits and kicks and screams, they're going to do it. But if she blatantly disobeys you, that's my thing. You can throw a temper tantrum, those are going to happen to that. But like, if I tell you not to do something and you do it, there's going to be repercussions. And there should be. So he told me just put her up in bed. That's basically her timeout. Take her. And I did last week. What is she doing? I told her to stop hitting or something, and she just hit me. And it's like, you're going to your room, and put her in her crib, and she went psycho. But you're going to sit up there for like 10 minutes. You're going to cry it out. You're going to kick and scream and throw a temper tantrum. Let it all get out of your system. And then she's usually pretty good. But he's like, dude, you might have to do that 10, 15 times for certain things she's going to do, and then she'll learn. Which is crazy. You can train them like dogs, I think. Now, if Goofy was a dog, you could train him kinda like that. But yeah, I mean, I don't even wanna use the word train them. There's a reason it's discipline. You're disciplining them. And to me, it's important. I understand kids are gonna be kids. I do of all people because I was a wild little kid and I was misbehaving all the time, like, but I was also disciplined by my parents. And I know times are different and we're not doing soap in the mouth and wooden spoon or the belt or any of that stuff like we did when I was growing up. And I'm not doing that. But I think you should have discipline. There should be repercussions for you throwing stuff, for you hitting your mom, for you throwing an unnecessary temper tantrum. Because if you don't, that's the person who ends up crying when their candidate loses in a presidential race. I mean, I'm joking, but I'm not joking. I think if you instill this stuff at a young age, I really think it has a profound effect. I really do. I believe in that. So we've been dealing with that, but she loves her some Mickey and she loves some Goofy. And now I'm gonna have to tell her tomorrow that Goofy is species fluid. He might identify as a cow one day, and the next day he's identifying as a dog. And the next day he's identifying as somebody with Down syndrome. Because if you watch the show, you'll get what I'm talking about. Yeah, so that's what's going on in my life, guys. Important stuff. Learning that Goofy is not a dog. So I sent that text to my brother and my buddy's like, I'm not reading this long ass article about Goofy. And I was like, you should. You really should. He's like, watch the football game. I was like, I am, but you should watch it. You should read this. It's important stuff. In fact, that'd be something great to bring to a party. Maybe. Nobody's gonna know. They're gonna be like, Goofy's not a dog, right? And I'm like, what? Yeah, man. Goofy's not a dog. And he's not a cow. And they're gonna say, Goofy was a cow. And they go, I don't know. A lot of people thought he was a cow. Look how great you look. You could bring some sort of historical or political viewpoint. I mean, that could be cool too, I guess, or an interesting fact. But like, how cool is this fact that Goofy is not a dog? Should be the title of this episode. Goofy is not a dog. I'll tell Gay Greg that. It's gonna be our next conversation. Hey man, Goofy wasn't a dog, and then he would somehow bring it into like, does Goofy have a red rocket? Oh my god. Do you think Goofy's got a red dick? And I'm like, whoa, 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 Greg. Whoa, whoa, whoa. My kid likes Goofy. Do not go there. Do not be talking about Goofy's red rocket. That's actually what this episode should be titled. Goofy's red rocket. No. Ridiculous. I think I'm gonna wrap it up though, guys. I'm gonna keep it kind of short tonight. I do have a hotline. What is the hotline? Let's pull it up here. 859-935-0078. That's the hotline. Once again, 859-935-0078. So you guys can reach out to me on all social at Andy Ruther. You guys know where to find me. I'm not hard to find. But that's the show. Hopefully, we'll see you guys again next week. All right. Peace.